This is the WJTS News. In tonight's news, a man is injured at work. A Friday night accident seriously injures a Petersburg man. And Joy Holt talks with Lagodi Mayor Noel Hardy. And in sports, Kurt Guxell highlights the Southridge Football Championship victory. Plus, WJTS Informed features Melissa Brockman inviting you to Christmas events in Spencer County. Hello, I'm Bill Potter, and this is the news. One person was transported for treatment of burns and other injuries after an explosion that occurred this morning at a Huntingburg diesel shop. Around 8:30 this morning, firefighters with the Huntingburg Volunteer Fire Department were called to Styline Diesel, located along the 200 block of West 6th Street, to the report of an explosion and an individual on fire. Fire investigator John Smith says a man was working in a maintenance pit at the shop cleaning with some solvents when the explosion occurred. Smith says the individual, whose name is not being released at this time, caught fire and ran out of the pit. Smith says at that time a co-worker working in a nearby bay was able to put out the fire immediately with a fire extinguisher. Smith says the worker was transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper for the treatment of his injuries and was later transferred to a burn unit in Indianapolis. Smith says the fire in the pit was out before firefighters arrived on the scene. He says a representative with the State Fire Marshal's office has been called in to investigate to help determine an exact cause of the fire. 3 trucks with about 10 to 15 men responded to the scene and remained there for an hour. A Huntingburg man who was said to be acting suspicious after he was involved in a minor traffic accident over the weekend was arrested on drug possession charges. Just after 8 o'clock Saturday night, officers with the Huntingburg Police Department were called to the 1000 block of North Main Street, where a minor traffic accident had taken place. Police say when they arrived, they were told by a witness that 20-year-old Jose Walter Ramirez of Huntingburg, who was the driver of one of the vehicles, was acting suspicious and appeared to have dropped something in some nearby grass. Officers eventually found a grass pipe and some marijuana where Ramirez had been standing. They also say during their investigation, Ramirez was found to never have obtained a driver's license. He was charged with possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and operator never licensed. He was taken to and lodged into the Dubois County Security Center in Jasper. A Jasper man was placed under arrest over the weekend on felony drug dealing and possession charges after he was clocked on his motorbike traveling at a high rate of speed on Jasper's far eastern limits. Around 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon, while working Operation Pullover, an officer with the Jasper Police Department was patrolling in the area of Meridian Road and 15th Street along with his canine partner. While at that location, police say a motorcycle was clocked at 48 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. A traffic stop was conducted with the motorcycle in the Kimball Electronics parking lot. During the course of the traffic stop, the operator of the bike, 59-year-old Stanley Vonderheide of Jasper, was discovered to be in possession of methamphetamine. Officers seized several individual baggies of a white crystal-like substance they say field tested positive as methamphetamine, as well as $805 in cash believed to be proceeds from Vonderheide's dealings of methamphetamine. Vonderheide was taken into custody and booked into the Dubois County Security Center on a level 4 felony count of dealing methamphetamine and a level 6 felony count of possession of methamphetamine. Driving minus a headlight led to a traffic stop and a subsequent arrest of a Huntingburg man on OWI and drug possession charges over the weekend. Just after 9 o'clock Saturday evening, an officer with the Jasper Police Department was working Operation Pullover, and while doing so, he observed a vehicle near US 231 and Huffman Road near the Y in Jasper that did not have an operational headlight. Next, while following the vehicle, the officer observed that the driver, identified as 39-year-old Dustin Cooper of Huntingburg, failed to use a turn signal when changing lanes near 231 and Huffman Road. The officer conducted a traffic stop with the vehicle in the Huck's parking lot just off Huffman Road. Upon making contact with Cooper and a 17-year-old passenger, police say there was a very strong odor of burnt and raw marijuana coming from within the vehicle. A search was conducted and both Cooper and the 17-year-old passenger were found to be in possession of marijuana. Cooper admitted to police of smoking marijuana while driving from Huntingburg to Jasper. A certified test was completed at nearby Memorial Hospital, and Cooper was found to have THC, opiates, amphetamines, and oxycodone in his system. The 17-year-old passenger was referred to juvenile court and released to a guardian. Cooper was taken to and booked into the Dubois County Security Center on charges of operating while intoxicated with a person less than 18 in the vehicle and possession of marijuana. Authorities have released details of a two-vehicle crash that took place Friday evening between Jasper and Huntingburg, seriously injuring a Petersburg man. Indiana State Police say around 6:30 p.m. Friday, 21-year-old Christian Stepanek of Petersburg was southbound on US 231 in the Bottoms between Jasper and Huntingburg when authorities say, for an unknown reason, Stepanek crossed the center line and drove into the path of a pickup driven by 74-year-old James Wiseman of Huntingburg. Police say Stepanek's passenger car collided with Wiseman's truck head-on. Stepanek was extricated from his vehicle and transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper. He was later flown to St. Vincent Hospital in Evansville for treatment of a head injury. Wiseman suffered minor injuries and too was taken to Memorial Hospital for treatment. Both vehicles were total losses. Highway 231 was closed for nearly 2.5 hours while the crash was investigated. The incident remains under investigation. The Indiana State Police were assisted at the scene by the Dubois County Sheriff's Department, the Jasper Police and Fire Departments, and Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services. No serious injuries were reported, but one elderly passenger was taken to the hospital as a precautionary measure after a three-vehicle chain reaction accident north of Jasper over the weekend. The Dubois County Sheriff's Department says that around 4:15 Saturday afternoon, vehicles driven by a 56-year-old Carrie Yoakum of Jasper, 19-year-old Diamond Cox of Clarksville, and 31-year-old Scott Harger of Huntingburg were all headed northbound on US 231 at Old State Road 45, about 1.5 miles north of Jasper. Police say Yoakum had stopped for a vehicle ahead of him that was turning left onto Old State Road 45, and that traffic had just cleared, and Yoakum began to proceed northbound on Highway 231. They say it was at that time Cox, the driver of the second vehicle, rear-ended Yoakum's crossover SUV, while the third vehicle, a mid-sized pickup driven by Harger that was loaded with firewood, could not stop in time and rear-ended Cox's passenger car, sending it into the rear of the Yoakum's SUV. Once again, no serious injuries were reported other than a passenger in Yoakum's vehicle. His 79-year-old mother, whose name and address were not available from deputies, was taken to Memorial Hospital by ambulance for precautionary measures. Yoakum's SUV sustained $3,500 damage, while the Cox and Harger vehicles were declared total losses. The only citation written after the crash was for Cox, who was ticketed by deputies for not having insurance. US 231 was closed for about 1 hour while the scene was cleared. Dubois County deputies were assisted at the scene by first responders with the Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department and Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Responders. The Dubois County Women's Leadership Organization, Women Empowering Women, will gather Wednesday, December 13th at the St. Joseph Church Parish Center in Jasper. Doors open at 11:30 for networking before the meeting begins at 11:45 in the morning. This event is open to all prospective and current members. Women Empowering Women welcomes Jan Dugan, Health and Human Sciences Extension Educator with Purdue Extension, to highlight how clutter can negatively impact health. Jan will help participants overcome the thought of decluttering or getting rid of stuff to soothe complicated emotions or feelings. She will teach simple ways to deal with clutter and inspire participants to make life less stressful and more joyful. Advanced reservations are required for members and guests. Reservations should be made by calling the Jasper Chamber of Commerce at 812-482-6866, 482-6866, or by emailing chamber@jasperin.org by Friday, December 8th. The cost for lunch is $5 per person and is payable at the door. The mission of Women Empowering Women is to inspire women in business to reach their highest potential by instilling confidence, building networks, and promoting community in DuBois County. Membership is open to any woman in business who lives or works in DuBois County. For more information about Women Empowering Women and to access membership, a membership application, visit the organization's Facebook page or contact the Jasper Chamber of Commerce. And this note, officials with the City of Jasper say this Friday, the city's municipal water department will be opening the gates at Beaver Lake. They say weather depending on Friday, December 1st, that is, the department will be lowering the lake level 4 to 6 feet in order to prevent ice from freezing on the docks. Officials feel that with the water levels down, this would be the ideal time for those with property at Beaver Lake to make repairs and maintain docks. Now stay tuned. Monday with the Mayor featuring Noel Hardy, Mayor of Lagodi. Weather, sports, and more are still to come. Also tonight on WJTS Inform, Melissa Brockman of the Spencer County Tourism Bureau invites you to special Christmas events. Stay with us.